Hello and welcome everyone to another video where today we'll try to calculate the sum of two different arrays, right? Now, what do I mean when I say the sum of two arrays is nothing but the sum of the respective indexes of two different arrays. So let's say if I have 1, 2 as my first array, 3, 4 as my second, my resultant sum becomes the sum of the first index of both arrays, which is 1 and 3, that's 4, 2 and 4, which is 6. Sounds straightforward. But if we take it to, let's say, a step up, we can introduce the concept of carries, right? So let's say my first array is 3 and 6, if I could write. My second array is, let's say, again 3 and 6, right? So the sum becomes 6 and 12, which you would think, but what we want to be doing is we want to be writing it as 2 and then 1. Why so? Let me explain. Because if I write 12, if we talk about strict additions, then there's nothing of a number greater than 9, right? If the number is greater than or equal to 10, we say as 1 is the carry and the remainder is the actual sum, right? So if I say 12, which means 2 is the remainder, so we have 2 and 1 is the carry. Now you would say there is nothing to add 1 to, right? So of course there's nothing to add. I don't have any index over here, I don't have any index over here, which is why we treat them as zeros and we add this carry of 1 to it, and the resultant becomes 6 to 1, right? Let's take another example. Let's say I have 9 and 6, and I have, let's say, 6 and 9. Most of you would be loving that number. So if I add the first two elements, I have 15, which means 5 is the remainder. I have a carry of 1, which I add to the sum of 6 and 9, which is again 15. And the carry 1 makes it to 16. The remainder now is 6, and the carry is 1. Right? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, I think. So let's get to the code. Let's see if we can solve it or not. All right. So as usual, let's say I have a function add two arrays, right? Let's say it takes two lists L1 and L2. And of course, let's say we want to be returning something from here, or we can directly do a console log or something. So let's say if I pass in two arguments, let's say I add 2, 3, and 4. My next argument is, let's say, 5, 6, and 7. All right. So pretty straightforward. If I do console log L1, I'll be getting 2, 3, 4. If I console log L2, I'll be getting 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. So let's try to do this. Let's try to split this into multiple sections. I think if I want to be returning an array ultimately, so I need to have a array that can hold the sums. So let's call that sum carry. Um, I need to know which one of these is a larger array in length, because it is entirely possible I could have 1 and 2 as my first array, and I could just have, let's say, just 3 as my second array, right? So I need to know which one of these is a larger. So I need a large array, as well as I need to know which is a small array. So I need a small array, right? At the same time, I need to know what the length of the large array is. So let's say large length, large array length. Initialize that with 0. And yes, of course, we need a carry to let us know what the carry is right now, which is of course going to be 0 initially. And we can get to work. All right. So first condition, let's say if the length of both the lists of both the arrays, let's say if it's the same, I can say any of them is the large array. So let's say I assign large array to L1, I assign small array, I assign L1 to large array, I assign L2 to small array, and large array length is equal to, we can either do it L1 dot length or we can also do L2 dot length. They're both the same anyways. Yeah. All right. Similarly, if let's say the length of L1 is greater than the length of L2, so in that case, the large array is L1, the small array is L2, and of course the large array length is now equal to L1 dot length. Yeah, that's it. Um, the last condition, if L1, the length of L1 is less than the length of L2, in this case, L2 becomes our large array, L1 becomes our small array, and the length of L2 is the length of the. So let's see if it works everything great up until here. Let's try to log large array, let's do small array, and we also have large ARR length, just for our sanity. Large array length. So let's just tweak this a little. Let's just keep this 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? As always, we'll go to the terminal, we'll run node, and yes, 5, 6, 7 is my larger array, 2, 4 is the smaller one, and 3 is the length of the bigger array. All right. I think we have something going on right now over here. Let's try to do some natural calculations. Let's have a loop that goes up until the length of, let's say, no, it's not going to go to till any length. We already have the length of the bigger array. So we have large array length. We've already maintained that. So that's going to be our end iteration. We need to know, because let's say in this condition, let's say if I add 1 and 3, I'm going to have a 4. But let's say if I try to access index number 1 of both these arrays, for this one I'll have 2, for this one I'll have undefined, right? So we need to know what the second number is, right? So we say second number is what? It's going to be the index of small array, the element at the index of small array for that iteration, right? We're going to check if the, let's say the second number is undefined. We're going to say second number is 0. I think that's going to work. Because if this is, let's say, undefined, so we just make it as 0, we treat it as 0, and we add it directly to this, right? Okay. Let's have a sum, right? Which is going to be the sum of the elements at indexes of both arrays. So it's going to be large array at I plus the second number, of course, because we just validated if the second number is undefined, we just converted it back to 0, and now we're going to add both the numbers. Yeah. Yeah, this is going to have a little modification. We'll come back to that, right? Let's say if the sum is less than 10, which means no carries, no nothing whatsoever, we can simply say the sum array that we had. mm, okay, this is not sum carry, this should be sum array, right? So I say sum array, I push the sum to it, right? Otherwise, if the sum is, let's say, greater than 10, mm, we have our carry variable, we want to be updating that, we want to be updating the sum as well. um, okay, so let's say if the sum is 18, so we want to be pushing in 8, which is basically 18 minus 10. But Let's say if the sum is greater than or equal to 20, which won't be happening anyways, because at best the sum that we can get, it cannot exceed 18, which is 9 plus 9, which means the carry also is never going to be greater than 1. So 18 plus 1 at most is going to go to 19. So yeah, this is a clear picture, I think. The sum is never going to, the carry is never going to exceed 1, and the sum as well is never going to be exceeding 19. So I think we can easily do sum array dot push. I think we can do sum minus 10. So basically, if the sum is greater than or equal to 10, we push, we subtract 10 from it, and that's going to be our remainder, which is, let's say if it's 10, it's going to be 0. For 11, it's going to be 1. I think that will work. We need to update the carry, would be sum divided by 10. So let's say if it's 19, it's going to become 1.9. And of course, with some other languages such as, let's say, C, there are no floating points. So this will be directly evaluated to 1. But with JavaScript, I need to make sure it does not go into decimals. That's going to be my carry. And yes, of course. Now, if there is a carry, we are of course gonna be needing to add the carry to our sum, and every time the sum becomes greater than equal to 10, we wanna reset that carry back to 0. Um, and does this solve it? Let's try. Let's see. Sum array, right? Let's run this. It says 708, so that's 2 plus 5, 7. 4 plus 6 is 10. 0 is our remainder. 1 is the carry. 7 gets added. 1 gets added to 7, and that's 8. This looks to be working well for this example. Let's try 9999999. Let's see if it works with this one. I hope it should. 9 plus 9 is 18. 8. 1 becomes a carry. 9 plus 9 is 18. Plus 1 is 9. No, this fails. This does not work. So, if we think of something, right? What could be the issue? Um, okay. At the same time, we also need to check that if I is equal to the large array length minus 1. I'll tell you quickly why I need this one more condition. It's because, let's say, for this particular example, 9 plus 9 becomes, okay, let's add one more 9 to this. 9 plus 9 is 18, carry 1. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 1, 19. 9 plus 9 is 18, carry 1, 19. 9 plus 9 is again 18, carry 1, 9. Okay, let's just remove 1 9 from here. So these four nines will be evaluated. The last carry would be 1, 9 plus the next element 0. Carry 1 would be 10, which is 0, and then again 1 carry, and then 1 needs to go back again, right? So this condition, I think, should solve it, that if I is equal to large array dot length, and if carry is greater than 0, so I need to push another element. It would be, I suppose it should be carry. If we run this again, nope, still not good. So if we think about it, I have, I think, some array, large array. These conditions are good. L1 length, L2 length, large array. Second number, we validated second number. Okay, let's try to debug it a little. Let's see what the sum becomes. Sum is 18, which is good. 9 plus 9 is 18. Carry 1 should be 19, but we're getting 20. Mm, if I, let's say, subtract 10, I push sum to it. Now if we run it, it's still having some issues. Um, let's see what it could be. Carry is 0. Um, if I, let's say, try to see what the issue is. Um, okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. It's kind of a little difficult to split this. We need both these here. Second number, check. So, okay. Okay. Hmm. Let's say if sum is less than 10, if sum greater than equal to 10, up. So not, what's the other issue that could be happening here? Sum is less than 10, sum array dot push is greater than equal to sum array dot push carry equals. Ah, okay. I think I got the issue. Um, and yes, I think that's it. So I forgot to floor instead of seal. Instead of that, I did seal. So if one, let's say the sum is 19, so the carry becomes 19 divided by 10, which is 1.9. Math.seal takes it to 2. So the carry was ultimately getting calculated incorrectly. And I think that's it. Um, I don't think there's anything else or any other race condition that could arise in this one. And with that, I think we're done for the day. See you in the next one. Thank you.